Guys, good morning. Happy Wednesday. It's Daryl here. It is 3:45 a.m. Here in Connecticut on the East Coast. So I've been dying to talk about Fox News, aka Trump propaganda TV, state-run TV, whatever you want to call it. Now, for a while, I always ask myself, do I have a biased liberal view? And sometimes I do. Um, as you guys know, I go to the gym every morning at 5, and across the front of the gym, there's 20, 25 TVs with all the different news programs on at 5 a.m. MSNBC, CNN, Fox, the three big stations overnight, ABC overnight, NBC, CBS, BBC. There's a couple from like Asia. I think Algeria is on. And you get a sense. I can plug in and listen to the audios on all of them. So I switch back and forth. And let me tell you, the time flies as I'm comparing news stories. One thing I noticed: Fox News will not talk about. They'll talk about the impeachment only when it's a angle that's good for Trump. CNN, I noticed, because this is going to be the argument that CNN is just the flip side of Fox News. I know once I started this video, that's going to be the argument. Well, Obama had a connection to CNN or whatever. CNN's liberal. It's just two sides of the same coin. So I started specifically watching like MSNBC, Fox News, CNN, those three mostly. As CNN on one side, Fox on the other, and MSNBC more or less in the middle, and judging the stories. And what I saw was, CNN is hard on Trump. What I saw is they report a lot on impeachment. They do give Trump a lot of negative reporting, but everything I saw in there was true. Everything I saw in there was legitimate. The same stuff I was reading, the same stuff the facts I find on one of my favorite sites is PolitiFact and PunditFact, and I'll put the links down below. It's a think tank. They've won a Pulitzer Prize. It's not. You guys have heard me talk about PolitiFact before and PunditFact. They're not liberal. They're not conservative. If you go through the site, you'll see they'll call out either side. Whoever's lying, they fact check. It's a fact checking organization. Like I said, they've won Pulitzer Prizes. It's non-biased, non-partisan, whatever you want to call it. And like I said, I want to know. Hey, if the liberal side of the news is not telling something that's not true, I want to know. I don't want to believe lies. I don't care who's telling them. So I go to that. I went to, as I'm watching the stations, I'm trying to tell the stuff I see on Fox News. It looks untrue. It looks sensational to me. They talk about Nancy Pelosi, and it would be more sensationalistic, and it would be claims or innuendo, whereas CNN would be fact. It'd be what's happening. It'd be Nancy Pelosi holding on to the articles of impeachment, waiting, trying to get the rules, the witnesses, whereas Fox News would spin it that she's breaking the law, she's this and that. And it's more of a fear tactic, I noticed over time. I was trying to tell if the two were just different sides of the same coin, or if one was more what I believed, that Fox News was less truthful and more Trump television. And I'm going to show you guys the link. Now, I trust PolitiFact. I do. Whether you guys do or not, you can read up on it and make your own decision. I'm going to give you the link down below. They had truth ratings on both CNN and Fox News, and it was very telling. Now, they rated both on from completely true, mostly true, partly true, half true, false, mostly false, complete pan. Then the bottom was pants on fire. So if you guys go now, like I said, the links are going to be right down below to CNN, the Truth File on CNN, and the Truth File on Fox News. I'll have the links down below, and you guys can check it out yourselves. CNN, there was a big difference where most of the checked stories, the checked statements on CNN were 35% mostly true. They were up in the true range. Mostly true, true, or partially true. That was the percentage of the bars, the most percentages. You go to Fox News, and it was the most was false. The statements were, that was the highest percentage of checked statements on Fox News were flat out false. Like, I believe it was 28% or 21%. Like I said, you guys will check it out. It's right down below, both links. And the percentage, the biggest bars, the percentage bars were on Fox News were false, mostly just flat out false. Not even partially false, just false. Partially false, mostly false. And you could see, as you check out the bar graph, it's very telling. And one other story I found was a story about Trump and the border, the national emergency he declared, and how the rest of the media noticed as they arrived there that Hannity was already there, that he had arrived with the president, that he was huddling with the Homeland Security chief at the time. I can't remember the name. And he was over with the president as part of the president's entourage, Hannity, setting up the story with bales of marijuana, the whole fear tactic, where the rest of the media was kept over at bay and reporting from afar. Again, this goes to this is the closest we've ever had to state-run television. I mean, it is for all intents and purposes, and the way the two feed into each other is another troubling aspect I noticed of this, where all day Trump will Twitter about Fox and Friends and news stories on Fox. And then Fox, in turn, will talk about Trump. And it's a circle where they just feed on this fear and liberal bashing and stories that all the rest of the media is lying. It's mostly fear. I was reading this other thing on how fear sells. And it's the truth, and how fear motivates. And it's amazing. One of the scariest things, too, I did not know this, that Fox is the highest rated cable news in the country. That is troubling. So it would be my duty to focus on Fox and its turn into state-run television more on my channel here. So I'm going to do more looking into this. But also, I was looking into state-run TV in communist countries and dictatorships in the old behind the old Iron Curtain in Czechoslovakia. The way the state-run TV was run back in the 60s and 70s, on how they wouldn't report anything bad, about the state or the president, and the parallels. If you look back to specifically the early TV back during the Iron Curtain, the parallels to Fox and Trump is just, it's troubling. It's scary. My own family, like I've told you guys before, my own family, I won't get specific, but I've sat down to the Christmas dinner or Thanksgiving dinner, and some of the people I know are just, in a terror about they're taking over the country, the immigrants, and they're doing this, they're murdering and all this, and you could see the fear in their eyes. And I asked specifically, I was like, what news do you watch? And these are older relatives, and they weren't even sure what news channel it was. So I said, well, who's on it? Who are you watching? And Hannity, the first name was Hannity, and I was like, you're watching Fox News. And the troubling thing is, a lot of people, like my older relatives, don't even really realize the propaganda that they're watching. They don't know of this bias in the media, and they take this all at face value. They're watching Fox News. It's the truth. And it's not an altered Trump version of the truth. That it's just, this is the news, and all the other news is terrible, lying, communist, liberals lies. And they truly believe this, without checking it out at all. That scares me. And this is mostly the older generation that grew up with Walter Cronkite and all that. And like I said, I don't feel like they're aware. A lot of older people probably aren't aware of the huge bias, the huge canyon between the truth and reality, MSNBC, the reality, and what they're watching, these news shows, Fox and Friends. When they watch this, they're like, oh my God, Trump's saving the country. And they truly believe this without checking. They have, especially when you get older, you have your favorites, and that's that. And you're not as likely to explore other options, other things. And that's the scary thing I discovered, at least with my relatives. They weren't even aware of the huge bias, and what they were actually watching. So you can expect to see more stories on this on my channel. It's scary. It's very scary. The thing I think that scares me the most is the way the two feed into each other. The Trump twittering the stories all day long. This is where lies become truth. Where they get these alternate truth, or whatever that Kelly Conway called it, or was the other representative, alternate facts, lies, in other words. It's just ridiculous. And there was another quote from another Trump, from a Fox News personality, that said he does not honestly believe that Trump has ever lied to the American people. Now that right there is just, and this is a Fox News personality on the air with Fox saying he doesn't believe that Trump ever lied to the American people. And again, these older baby boomers, whatever. And I'm not just saying older baby boomers, but to me, at least in my family, I found seem to be very susceptible to this state-run media, this Trump propaganda. So it's going to be a target of mine in the future. All right, you guys have a great Wednesday. Take care.